what's going on, everyone? So recently, everything inside of the crypto market has been going up, and we also see that Pump.FUN is up 23.6% inside of the last hour. Well, really 24% in the last 24 hours, I mean. So it's doing extremely well. We can see the trading volume's high, the market cap's high. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about what happened. But anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Let's get straight to it. So currently, right now, what we have in Pump.FUN is 24% up in the last 24 hours, 11% in the last 7 days, and still 94% in the last 30 days. So it's still doing decent. We can see the volume is still pretty high, $867 million. So that's pretty good as well. And really everything started to pump because of the whole government shutdown thing, and people are just speculating off of it. So that's pretty much what's going on right now, and people are just excited, right? The market just wants to pump. The markets want to pump huge, and every single time just the slightest bit of news comes out, it starts to pump. Really, the government shutdown thing isn't a good thing, but the markets are still pumping based off of that, right? But anyways, we can see back here when Pump.FUN was launched on Coinbase, it had reached this resistance up here, all the way up here at 0.0068. Now we notice that we have just now hit the resistance of 0.0068 as well on this Fibonacci here. So we just hit a really significant resistance point right there. So that's pretty good for Pump.FUN. But one thing I will mention here is the %R trend exhaustion. So this is the 4-hour chart, by the way. And on the %R trend exhaustion on the 4-hour chart, you can see that the short-term trend has just overdone it, right? It just went way past the long-term trend. We should really see the other way around. We see the blue line, which is the long-term trend here at the top. And then we should see the white line, which is the short-term trend here at the bottom. The long-term trend should be moving higher, far beyond the short-term trend, right? So the reason why this matters as an indicator is because if it's moving in the way it's moving now, we're going to have a pullback for the short-term trend to catch up with, or the long-term trend to catch up with the short-term trend. So you're going to see some type of pullback and then a continuation from there. And that's kind of what we've seen here previously inside of the %R trend exhaustion. The short-term trend pumps, outpaces the long-term trend, comes back to meet the long-term trend, and then the pump continues from there. And we kind of see this happening a lot here. So if I had to guess what is about to happen next, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, none of this is financial advice, there could be a potential pullback from here where we are now on Pump.FUN, or we could see this thing going up just a little bit higher up to 0.0077 and then a pullback from there. So there's a possibility that one of those two things could happen. Also, lots of buying pressure as well on the MACD for the 4-hour chart. So that's pretty good as well. So yeah, Pump.FUN is inside of a very good position right now. Is really positioned to do some massive pumps once the market really, gets into motion, because every time the market's Pump.FUN pumps 10 times more, right? Anyways, on the 2-hour chart, the %R trend exhaustion is inside this overbought territory here. Usually it can stay overbought for a little longer than expected, right? So there's a possibility that, again, we can see this thing going up a little bit higher, breaking past this resistance, going all the way up to 0.0077. So there's that possibility that we could do that there on Pump.FUN. And also looking at the MACD, still lots of buying pressure on the 2-hour chart, just a little bit of hint of selling pressure coming in. So you would definitely want to be aware of that. But other than that, I mean, Pump.FUN is in an extremely good position right now for this bull run. We also see here on the hourly chart still have a lot of overbuying. So, you can take that for however you want. Sometimes these indicators, they're not always right. Sometimes it can show that it's overbought, but then it can stay overbought for an extended period of time, like back here. So definitely be aware of that. So just because it says that it's overbought does not necessarily mean that it's going to pull back massively. Good buying volume here on the hourly chart as well. Starting to see more selling the more smaller you go with the charts here. So now we're looking at the 30-minute chart. The lower we go here, we're starting to see more selling pressure. But on the 30-minute chart, you can see that exactly what I was talking about before. The overbuying is like extended on the 30-minute chart. So any moment now, it should be pulling back. How big of the pullback is going to be, no one knows. But any moment now, we should see one if we can't break past the resistance here and head towards 0.0077. So if we get rejected here, just expect this to come closer down here to that support at 0.0058. So that's just a possibility of what can happen inside of Pump.FUN for the short term as well. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. I think Pump.FUN still is in a good position. They got a new listing onto HTX 2 days ago, so that's pretty bullish as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Go ahead, hit the like button and subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a comment in the comment section. As for Bitcoin, we obviously know that everything in general is gonna follow Bitcoin. Honestly, I kind of still see Bitcoin from a different perspective as everyone else, because I was looking at this channel, but we have broken out of this channel. So this is the one thing I was looking for. I was like, hey, if we go down to this channel here, like if we go all the way down to the bottom of the channel, then that's pretty bearish. But as you can see, we ended up not doing that. We actually ended up continuing on the uptrend here. So that's pretty bullish, honestly. I think that everything is starting to pan out now. We're starting to see, everything going up. We're starting to see Bitcoin recovering. We're starting to see, we're pretty much starting to see what we wanted to see all along, what we wanted to see this whole time. And now we're starting to see the recovery of, Bitcoin. We're seeing the recovery of stocks. We're seeing the recovery of altcoins as well. And then if we also look over here, we're also seeing that the Bitcoin dominance is still pretty high at 56.8%. Remember, just a few weeks ago, Bitcoin dominance was at 54%. So we still need to see the Bitcoin dominance becoming smaller and smaller, just so then we can, just so we can be inside of a better position, because the Bitcoin dominance really does control a lot of things in the market. So the smaller the Bitcoin dominance, the better that would be. So if we see Bitcoin dominance getting larger and larger, then we know we're going to have a pullback. If we see it getting smaller, and smaller, then we know that we're probably going to end up going up a little bit more. So, that's just something that you could think about. But yeah, we have broken out of this channel. There's a possibility that we can break past this 116k resistance, well, really 117k resistance, and then make our way up here to 123k, back to previous all-time highs. But yeah, as of right now, things are looking bullish in Bitcoin. Now, when we're looking at the 4-hour chart, lots of buying pressure, obviously, because we've been pumping, so obviously there's going to be buying pressure. And then we can also see here on the percent R trend exhaustion, almost a little over exhausted to the upside. We got a little bit more to go, so there is a possibility that we could see that small pullback coming from Bitcoin, bringing the whole overall market down with it. And that is why it's so important to have a smaller amount of Bitcoin dominance, because it just makes it so much easier for Bitcoin to pull everything down when Bitcoin is dominant. But when there's not much dominance for Bitcoin, makes it 1,000 times harder to pull the whole market down with it, right? And I've been showing this on Bitcoin. I've just been showing these the percent R trend exhaustion here and how it's looking. So I was expecting for it to come down here a third time, and then the long-term trend to come right here for the third time, and then a revival from there on both sides, being stopped by this little channel up here. So that's kind of what I was looking for here inside of Bitcoin. So I do still think that there is a possibility that this is like a bull trap, right? That's exactly what happened back here. We kind of got trapped. People thought that was about to keep pumping it, and then it pulled back. So if you think about it, this area right here, we can go back and see what happened there. We thought that things were about to continue to pump from there, but things did not end up doing what we thought they would do, and then they ended up pulling back. So, it is what it is. But yeah, let's bring this back up. So Again, if you come back all the way back here, you look at December of 2024, and then going into January 2024, and then going down into February or January 2025, then down to February 2025, you can kind of see what I mean by that. So if we were to come back here and bring the same thing right back up, so let's bring that right back up here, then you can kind of see it a little bit better. So if we come back here and look at the December of 2024, you can see that pullback going into January 2025. We kind of got like rug pulled, as you can say. We got bull traps, and then going into February, we started to drop. So then if you come over here and you look at it, and you compare that to now, there is a possibility that the same thing could happen, right? We're kind of seeing something like that similar coming in, but there is a possibility that it doesn't, right? There's a possibility that it continues to the upside. We'll just have to wait and see. But if we're following past performance, then we should be pulling back if we're following past performance. If we're not following past performance, then we can continue on an uptrend here. So anyways, this is pretty much all I got for you all today. I just kind of wanted to bring this back up because I think this is a pretty important indicator right here for the overall market. But yeah, anyways, this is pretty much all I got for you guys today. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Definitely hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys want me to go over next. And I'll keep you guys updated on all of this. And hey, as always, I'll be back with another video.